What is going on, everyone? So I've been wondering, even though Mexico was the first place to have a freed slave state, including Africans, of course, and the indigenous, or also known as los indígenas personas, I wonder if the African slaves back in the days in the United States had known about this, what would Mexico be today if the slaves from the United States migrated into Mexico? Now, for all of you that do not know, in 1609, there was this Nigerian African slave that was brought to Mexico with Hernan Cortez and Los Españoles, or the Spaniards, to Mexico to work. His name was Gaspar Yanga Veracruz, and he was pretty much an African prince. And I guess what had happened is that the Spaniards said, you know what, let's go to Africa, let's go kidnap some Africans, and them not knowing Gaspar Yanga was a prince from, I believe, West Nigeria. So once he was brought over to Spain and then migrated to Mexico, he worked for the Spaniards, for like 30 years. He talked to the indigenous people, because yes, the indigenous was slaves too. So he was like, you know what? Let's team up. I'm tired of working for the damn Spaniards, and since you Native American Indians, what we know of the indigenous people in the United States, he said, you know what? Let's go ahead and rebel against these damn Spaniards. So you guys know the land, and we have a lot more people than these damn Spaniards. So what had happened is that Gaspar Yanga and his team, Africans and the indigenous slaves, they found land in the high mountains, blah, blah, blah. He told the Spaniards, look, we go give you a good ass kicking if you come to our land, and let's make a peace treaty. Spain's like, damn, okay, you know what? You're right, we can't overpower you guys. So you can have this little piece of land, also known as Yanga Veracruz. So that was just a quick little one-on-one history with the African slave rebellion here in Mexico. But again, so if the United States African slaves known about Mexico having a freed slave state, which means that nobody can own slaves in Veracruz, Mexico, man, I wonder how different Mexico would be. I don't know. That's why I'm asking you guys. But would Mexico look a lot more like Brazil? Or would Mexico look more like the Dominican Republic or Cuba? Who knows? But all I'm saying is that I think it would have been a smart move if they did know that Mexico did have a free slave state. And again, what's most important is that here in Mexico, it was the first community throughout the Americas, that's North, Central, and South, that they had a freed slave state in 1609. And yes, the African slaves mixed in with those beautiful indigenous people and made all kind of zombos. I believe that's the term in the caste system that they used. But again, would Mexico look a lot more like Brazil if the U.S. African slaves migrated into Mexico? And how different do you think Mexico would be if that was the case? How different do you think the United States would be with less Negroes there? I don't know. Who knows? So let me know what you guys think. Drop a comment. Thumbs up this video if I am a great educator. I think I'm not. I just give you guys informative information. But yeah, let me know. Negrito grande. Vale pues.